because welcome to the Josh Robinson Show. I'm sleep deprived. I'm not gonna lie. I'm recording this. I'm very sleep deprived. I don't care though. I'm just going with it. I'm full of ideas. Let's just go with it for now. It is, of course, the time of recording. You'll hear this on a Wednesday, but time of recording. I'm in post WrestleMania zone. You'll hear all my WrestleMania thoughts on this week's Wrestling Reverb. But oh man, although it was a little different this year, schedule wise, over 2 days, but I'm still tired. It's exhausting, for lack of a better term. Not in a bad way. I mean it in a good way because I'm so invested in wrestling in general. But just WrestleMania, it can take it out of you. It can really just be like, whoa, man, I am bugged, mate. I am fucking bugged. But it is what it is, and it's not a complaint. It's a good problem to have, being exhausted from something you watch. But it is, it can get tiring. So I'm running on like fumes at this point, but I'm getting this done. I'm getting it fucking just getting it done, mate. So welcome everyone to the Josh Robinson Show. This is the first Josh Robinson Show on the Josh Robinson 00 network where I have no guest. It is truly going to be the pocket-sized podcast this week. Expect like a 15-20 minute episode. So something easy that you can just put on while you're doing the dishes, or you're getting ready for work, or you're in the car and you're going on a short trip. That's what this week's episode is designed for, because I think it's appropriate this week to check in with everybody and just wonder how all the fuck we're doing, because the world is still it's in shambles at the moment with everything. Weird way to put it, but it is, and it's a weird time. It's just a weird zone to be in. And even Australia has been on lockdown-ish, the closest thing to lockdown without it being a full lockdown, for the last, I think, 3 weeks. And although life isn't on the forefront, maybe like completely and utterly different, it's just more so you're at home on your own a lot more. Take WrestleMania, for example. Usually it's a WrestleMania watch party. For the first time, I think maybe ever in my entire life, watch WrestleMania alone, and that's really weird. It's that's the realest it felt personally, to look around and go, ooh, I can't have anyone inside my house to have a WrestleMania kind of watch party with. So, I mean, in that respect, it's a little weird, but I don't know. It's I've been a little panicky. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to be completely honest with everybody here. I've been a little panicky in this situation. I've been off of work for the last 2 weeks, just on planned vacation that just happened to fall in this time, which is, I mean, a blessing in disguise. But I go back to work tomorrow. So by the time you hear this, I'll be back at work for a day. But I go back to work, and it's like, ooh, I don't like being around people too much. I'm trying to really limit the time that I'm out, as everyone should be limiting the time when they're out grocery shopping or whatever they're doing. It needs to be limited, it needs to be essential. If everyone kind of follows those rules, then this would go a lot smoother. But I still see a lot of videos of a lot of clips of even just people I know just being together, and it's like, why are you out hanging with your friends? You can't be doing that, mate. So, it is different. It's an adjustment, but I'm for the most part, I'm pretty much fine. It's just more so being around people, going into the grocery store or just going into a supermarket, and I'm wearing a face mask, and when I'm at work, I'm going to be wearing gloves, and it's just, I don't know, the aesthetic appeal of it is just like, it's so bizarre to walk out into a supermarket and everyone's kind of, not everybody, but there are people wearing face masks, and I don't know, it's just been it's been a trip to go through all of this. But I'm hanging in there, but I'm not gonna lie, there is a little bit of, I know I shouldn't, but I'm a human and I react to these things, and there's no real textbook on how to react to this kind of stuff because it's never happened in our lifetime. So there is a certain amount of panic when I'm out and I'm just like, oh, don't get near me, please, social distance, like, respect the rules. Especially when I'm at work, I'm just like, please, you need to back off, people, because I don't want to be here in this zone. But we're essential and we have to be at work, and I still need to make money, and I still need to, pay my rent, all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to have a chat with something that I want to know. I want to know from you guys, whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this as a podcast on the podcast, on your podcast platform. Tweet at me, Josh Robinson 00, or if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below. What are some things that are keeping you sane, that are keeping you grounded in self-isolation? Because, yes, we are spending a lot more time at home, so we're needing to, I don't know, exercise our way of keeping ourselves entertained and not falling into that boredom trap where you're just like, I would like to see my friends, or I'd like to be out somewhere. I've noticed for me, some things that are keeping me like grounded and sane. Obviously, wrestling is a huge part of me that I can just kind of chuck on, and it can be background noise, but also like it just kind of distracts me for a little bit, no matter what it is, wrestling wise. So wrestling helps. Video games is another big chunk of my life that I'm doing something. It that really distracts me more than a television show or wrestling to a certain degree, is because I'm doing something. I'm actually using my brain to think. So that music is another one that helps me a lot, because music is something that's just, I mean, there's not really many people that I come across with that just don't adore music to a certain degree. You'd have to be some kind of a psychopath to not listen to music. But your music is something to zone me out. Going for a walk, because we can still exercise, and I just go for a walk, even if it's just around the block for like 5 minutes. I don't know, there's something about going outside in the fresh air. I'm spending a lot of time in my backyard, even if it's just doing a little bit of like gardening or weeding or something like that. And you're just like, I usually just take my earbuds and put them in, listen to some music, and just, yeah, do that for like 10 minutes, because getting fresh air and going outside it cleanses you weirdly. I don't know, it's just something about it that's just like, oh man, this is just relaxing, and kind of just gets you out of your house for a minute, because it can get a bit, I mean, I live on my own as it is, so I'm used to being in my house on my own, but when you're told you have to, and when you haven't got that option of like, oh, I can go to a friend's house, or they can come to my house, or whatever, it can get kind of like you're in your house and the walls are just kind of like closing in on you. You feel a little trapped sometimes. So I think it's important to keep ourselves sane. My cat is everyone knows Giddy at this point, and she's a huge reason why I keep as sane as I do, because I just talk to her, and she doesn't talk back to me. Well, she does, but because she's a little bitch. But there's something about that that's just like, I just talk to you. She comes up for a cuddle. She comes up to bite me. She's just kind of in charge, and I kind of appreciate that. So she's a big reason. I find I'm awful for this, and it's dangerous in self-isolation, because you're not doing much. You're sitting on your ass for a majority of the time. At least I have been, not being at work. Is food. I find a lot of comfort in food. So I've been eating like crazy, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is dangerous. You don't want to be that bloody guy that's like, uh-oh, I'm eating all this food and a lot of junk and just not really burning it off because I haven't been at work. I'm very not ready to go back to work at all, but there's a silver lining if I'm looking on the bright side. At least I get to socialize a little bit with people at work, because it can kind of send you a bit crazy when you're not talking to people all the time. And also I'll be on my feet again, so I'm not just sitting around just eating a bunch of junk. At least I'm eating a bunch of junk and then, being on my feet for 8-9 hours a day. Working in retail is difficult. I don't like people that say it's an easy job. Maybe in the realm of thinking and not exercising your brain as much as you need to be, but physically and emotionally, mentally, it can drain you. It can, and I've been there before. There's many times where I'm very much open about this. I'm not in love with my job. However, it provides me with a way of living. So I can't completely hate it, because it's the reason I have a roof over my head and I'm able to eat junk and, whatever it may be. So it all relates back to that. So I'm very grateful to have a job. And I'm very grateful to have a job in this time when a lot of people have been laid off, because a lot of businesses are just not open because they're not allowed to be. So in that respect, I'm very grateful for it, but doesn't mean I ain't gonna complain. You know what I mean? I'm gonna complain. That's what my Twitter account's there for, mate. So, something else that has been keeping me sane, but this is just on a general level, is motherfucking TikTok. TikTok is great, and there's people that just genuinely hate TikTok. You do you. But this guy right here, this little man-child loves some TikTok. I just can sit there and just scroll the For You page or the following page and just watch for hours. Just mindless entertainment, and I love it. It has Vine energy, and I was a big Vine guy. I love Vines. So that's what I appreciate about TikTok. It does have some Vine energy elements. It has music. It has animals. So I'm all there for it. And I've been starting to make TikToks lately. So get the fuck off me. You know what I mean? There's this guy called Joel Bergs, and he's like the most Australian bloke you'll ever meet. And I'm just really into that. And I'm like, yes, you're speaking my native tongue. That's what I'm here for. He's a bloody legend, and I love it. So, yeah. When I'm kind of like sleep deprived, I notice that I speak way more Australian. Is this podcast voice just a sham? Bom bom bom. Find out soon. So yeah, I've just noticed that because I don't really necessarily. Well, I don't know about everybody else. I guess let me know in the comments or on Twitter. Do I? I don't think I have that thick of an Australian accent, but maybe I do, and I just don't realize that I do. I'm open to interpretations. I'm open to your thoughts about that. Do I have a really thick Australian accent? Am I true blue Aussie? I don't think I am. I think it's pretty mild, but whatever. Other than that, that's really what else is kind of keeping me grounded, keeping me sane. Twitter does help. Social media does help because you can interact with people through there. But that's all built off of wrestling on Twitter and stuff like that. So there is that kind of helps. Other than that, it's really not too much else that's kind of keeping me there. They're kind of main things that are kind of keeping me grounded, keeping me in check in this time, because it's still very uncertain with a lot of things, and we don't know how long this is going to last. We can only hope that it will be done within a few months, but there's really no time span you can put on this. Until there's a vaccine or some kind of a cure or something, we've got nothing. And I think, I know in South Australia, we're slowly, it's not by not any means near done, we're slowly flattening the curve, and cases are going down every day, and new cases are going down every day. So, I mean, that's a positive. I just want to get past this time where it's all we are consumed by is this. And I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, but we just got to keep living our lives. We can't let this stop us from living our lives. There was a part of me last week that was like, man, I feel very uncomfortable just going back to work. Like, I'm just feeling very anxious about it. There's a little part of me that's like, maybe I should talk to my work and be like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. It's making me so uncomfortable, so anxious. But then I had to think about it, and I'm like, I can't stop living just day-to-day life because this is happening. Yes, I've got to take precautions, and I've got to change my way of living a little bit. But I can't I can't just physically stop doing anything, because that's not okay for your mental health. You got to control some kind of sense of normality in this, because you just got to abide by the rules. But for me, I need to go to work, and I need to do this to keep my sanity a little bit, because I will go insane eventually just sitting alone in my house. I think anyone would. So, there's that. I don't know. That's all I really have to say. I know this is going to be a short episode, but I'm really not that fast. It truly is the pocket-sized podcast this week. So, I just wanted to get that off my chest, and please let me know if, whatever. If you want to talk to me about it, go ahead. But, I just hope everyone's staying safe and following advice of their medical professionals and the government, doing everything you can to flatten the curve. Do your bit so then everybody else sees it as something that they should do, because even though all these people are dying and all of these people are telling you to take it seriously, people are not. I see that on the constant. People are just not treating this real when this is reality at the moment. We just got to deal with it. So please take this seriously. I strongly urge you to follow advice of medical professionals and the government. Please do what you can to do your bit to flatten the curve. So stay the motherfucking home. Just stay in your motherfucking house. That's the first thing. Wash those little clappers, and do you. Just try and stay somewhat sane. If you're still going to work, take precautions when you're going to work. If you're on a stay-at-home basis, if you're working from home, do what you need to do, but just limit your time outside of your home. Go out for essential items, for essential needs, for essential reasons. Other than that, watch a movie. Update your Netflix account. Catch up on some video games or something. I just finished Grand Theft Auto 5 on my PlayStation 4. I'd finished it on the old gen systems and I never finished it. I finally finished it. I've nearly finished Red Dead 2 finally. After a year and a half of it being out, I'm nearly finished. I'm not quite there. I've downloaded a heap of different games and I'm just playing them. I'm going back and playing a lot of old wrestling games. As soon as this is done, I'm going to play WWE 12. I'm going to play some Universe Mode. I'm going to sit in my bed on my last hours before going back to work tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do. And I am just going to listen to some tunes. And I'm just going to slowly just do my thing. Flatten the curve. Might FaceTime my friends or something. I don't know. Really, I'll just talk to my cat. I don't need to talk to people. So there's that. So I hope everyone is staying safe, staying happy, and doing what they can to stop this. You'll hear Brothers by Law tomorrow on the Josh Robinson 00 network. We're going to be talking about GTA 6. So if you're into video games, if you're into Grand Theft Auto, open world games, this is the episode of you. Me and Ryan are going to break down the possibilities with that game, what our speculations are, what we've heard. We're going to talk about it because I love some GTA. So that'll be tomorrow. You'll be Wrestling Reverb on Friday, Old School Sundays. We're back to normal next week. This versus Josh will be back next Monday. We didn't have anything this week purely because of WrestleMania and the craziness of that, just finding time to do so. So that is that. Until next week, see you on the next one. Peace out.